You all know smartphone cameras have come a long way. They're getting better and better. For instance, a 38,000 rupee OnePlus 6T can shoot 4K video at 60 frames per second, but a 1,80,000 full-frame mirrorless camera can only do 4K at 30 frames per second. But specs aside, have you ever wondered how a smartphone like the 6T compares to a full-frame mirrorless camera like this one, the Sony A7 Mark III? If you have, then this is the video you need to watch. Before we begin, let me introduce myself. I'm Sundar, this is Technology Jock. If you like this concept, if you're excited to see how they compare, consider subscribing to me. It took hours to make this video, and hit the bell icon as well. First, I'm just gonna show you some video clips from both devices, side by side, footage A and footage B. I'm not gonna tell you which one is which, you're gonna tell me that. Note that the A7III is on auto mode because the 6T doesn't have manual controls for video recording, so I feel this would only be a fair comparison. Also, if you're wondering what I've got on the OnePlus 6T, it's an amazing skin from Capes India, our sponsors for this video. Capes India has a wide variety of cool skins at nominal prices. They're available for a lot of phones and even laptops and a few other gadgets. So do check them out. You can use the coupon code in the description to get 10% off on your purchases. So coming back, have a look at the clips and be patient. There's gonna be a poll at the end of 45 seconds. So that's the end of the first set of comparisons. Like I said, you can find a poll here. Let me know which one you think is footage A. Done? So, footage A was shot on OnePlus 6T. To be honest, the differences weren't huge. The differences weren't huge. Isn't that proof that the 6T is amazing? If you do a lot of nitpicking though, then maybe you could say the dynamic range was a tad better on the A7's footage, mostly because the 6T tends to bump up the contrast way too much. Look at this comparison. The 6T's footage has punchy colors, high contrast, and it even looks sharper to me. There's a great amount of detail on the floor of the terrace. The A7's footage on the other hand is a bit flat and has more natural colors. In this comparison though, the 6T's footage has better dynamic range. On the A7's footage, the highlights are blown out. If you don't know what highlights mean, well, let me explain it to you quickly. The brighter parts of an image are called the highlights, and when those parts are blown out, like this, then you cannot see any detail. Like here, we are not able to see the clouds or the sky. It's all just plain white. Similarly, the darker parts of an image are called the shadows, and when shadows are underexposed, once again, you cannot see any detail in those regions. Hope you got it. Let's now move on to the next set of comparisons. This time, you don't need to guess which one is which. Just tell me which one looks better and then I'll reveal A and B. So, watch carefully. Here you go. Here's a poll, let me know which one looked better to you, A or B. Done? So, footage A is A7's competitor, the OnePlus 6T. Yep, I was surprised by the 6T's performance here. Let's go through the clips once again. Both clips, the shadows are fine. Shadows in the scene are those buildings. But the highlights, the sky in this case, looks much better on the 60s footage. Only a small region of the clip is blown out, whereas on the A7's footage there are a number of regions with blown out highlights. Here the 60 exhibits the more contrasty, punchy look, but once again the dynamic range seems to be better, no blown out highlights, and the trees are also noticeably brighter. Same goes with this one. And this. The sunset definitely looks better on the 60s footage. It retains the color in more regions of the highlights. Now, don't get me wrong, the 60 is not better than the A7 Mark III, because fact is, the A7 Mark III is better than the 60. If you shoot in S-Log2 or S-Log3 and then do color correction and color grade during post-production, the footage will look much better. Not to mention, even on auto mode, the footage under low light is far better on the A7 III. There are so many other advantages too. You can swap lenses for shooting different kinds of scenes, and you get a shallow depth of field because the sensor is huge. So if someone wants to get an expensive mirrorless camera for professional use, I'm not gonna stop them and ask them to get a 60 instead. No, that's not why I made this video. This video is just to emphasize the amazing quality coming out of a mere smartphone camera. Without learning cinematography, without learning manual controls, without having to spend 50,000 or 1 lakh or even more on a professional camera, without the hassle of carrying a huge piece of hardware with you, you can still get great footage. I honestly didn't expect the 60 to outperform the A7 Mark III when I was testing out the cameras, but after looking at the video clips, I'm sold. Bottom line, for videos that are coming straight out of the device, like with no edits, no processing, no adjusting controls, no adjusting settings during the shoot, for just point and hit record, I would definitely pick the OnePlus 60. What are your thoughts on the comparison? Let me know in the comments, and a huge thanks to Capes India for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to check them out, links in the description, and apologies if the video was a bit too lengthy. I had to drag it out till here to convey the point clearly. So hope you enjoyed it. Hit that thumbs up button and please don't forget to subscribe to Technology Jock. It encourages me to upload more content like this. Hit the bell icon as well. Thank you so much for watching. This is Sundar from Technology Jock, leaving for the moment. Have a nice day.